If you're wondering what a private placement is and how to use this to raise funding for a startup company, a real estate deal, even put together a fund, that's exactly what we're covering in today's video and how you can utilize Reg D in order to raise funds for a private placement. As a startup founder, you're really only as good as the tools that you have access to, and understanding how to use a private placement, and more importantly, the way that it fits into your overall fundraising strategy is so incredibly important. And that's exactly why we are going to break that down in today's YouTube video from start to finish. And more importantly, not only how you can use this, but also who uses this securities exemption, some of the pros and the cons, and also why you might be missing this one element when it comes to your raise, and how incorporating that is almost like lighting a fire on your raise. So you can actually raise more and more by doing less. My name is Salvador Brigman, and I'm the author of Equity Crowdfunding Explained and also Real Estate Crowdfunding Explained. And I've been having so many readers write in, and also from my coaching calls, ask me, Sal, when are you going to cover this topic when it comes to the traditional methods of raising capital for a startup company? And that's exactly why I'm putting out today's YouTube video, because I'm passionate about helping creators and entrepreneurs and startup founders just like you raise capital, blow past those goals that you have when it comes to your company, hit new milestones, and be able to impact the world for the positive. There are many tools in your arsenal when it comes to getting a company off the ground, and also mentors who will help you along the path. And that's why I hope that you enjoyed today's YouTube video, and we'll also dive into some of these statistics that you might not be aware of, and that might actually surprise you when it comes to the types of offerings that fall under a Reg D and the companies that are using this every single day. Now, to put this simply and really cut through the fluff, when we're talking about a private placement, we're really referring to Regulation D, which is a securities exemption that allows issuers or companies to be able to raise funds from the public without registering those funds or those sales of securities with the SEC. You might also have heard this referred to as a private raise, or maybe someone doesn't want to do an initial public offering, and instead they're raising money privately from the public, and they're using Reg D in order to accomplish this. So usually when we're thinking about a Reg D private placement, we're thinking about, number one, selling securities and using this exemption in order to do that. And typically it's going to be a private offering, but there are certain rules within Reg D that allow you to do general solicitation. Number two, that's going to be for typically a limited group of investors or a specific group of investors. And number three, you're not doing a full public offering in the way you would with an IPO. Now, these types of offerings are done all over the United States. There's actually some really cool data on the SEC website, which you can look into. The most prominent states being Washington, California, Texas, New York, and also Florida. Now, this stat might blow your mind. There are more than 34,000 private offerings under Reg D that raised upwards of $2.4 trillion when it comes to their funding volume. When we start to look at the breakdown when it comes to this regulation and types of companies that are using it, it gets a little bit more interesting. So what we see is that private equity comes in around 36%, investment funds around 31%, hedge funds around 18%, companies around 10%, and VC funds around 3.4%. What this means is that there are a lot of different types of companies and entities that are using Reg D private placements when it comes to their funding needs. But you might be like, Sal, why the heck would I go down this path instead of utilizing crowdfunding or maybe even doing an IPO in the future? Well, the quick answer is that when it comes to Reg D, offering securities via this method is going to be much faster than if you were to go down the IPO road. If we're sort of comparing these two different paths, we'd say that Reg D has much lower costs when it comes to legal costs and compliance, and also much fewer disclosures than going down that IPO road. In addition, there's also a lot more flexible deal structure. For example, if you're going down the equity route, if you're doing a convertible note, you're doing a promissory note, etc. So it's no wonder that a lot of companies are choosing to use this when it comes to their funding strategy, and specifically for those early funding rounds. But who the heck can invest under the Reg D securities exemption? Well, there's technically two main rules when it comes to Reg D, 506B and 506C. There's also 504 as well, but we won't cover that as much in today's video. Under Rule 506B, you can raise funding from unlimited number of accredited investors and up to 35 non-accredited investors. However, you can't engage in any kind of public advertising, also known as general solicitation. Similarly, under Rule 506C, you're also limited to accredited investors. However, you can actually publicly advertise that raise on Facebook, email, funnels, advertising, you name it. However, you must verify the investor accreditation status when it comes to their income, net worth, and the fact that they are actually an accredited investor. In addition, there are no limit when it comes to the number of investors. Now, I think this is a very important distinction because with one type of raise under Reg D, under 506B, you can't actually market your campaign. However, with 506C, you can actually market your campaign. And maybe that's why you've seen, for example, advertisements on your Facebook feed or your Instagram feed when it comes to certain deals and asking first whether or not you're an accredited investor and really certifying that so that way you can participate in that deal. For those of you that are at home, you should really start to think about the way in which you're going to acquire investors. And if you want to have a bit of that optionality when it comes to the ability to solicit from the general public and to be able to offer shares to the general public. We've been throwing around that one term, accredited investor, and as you'll know when it comes to my videos on this channel, I do like to demystify not only crowdfunding, but also the ways in which you can move forward in your life with your company to get more funding when it comes to that. So let's really demystify this term, accredited investor. At the most basic level, an accredited investor is someone who makes around 200 plus per year or 300K with their spouse or has 1 million net worth excluding their primary home. Now, I do have to put an asterisk in the fact that that definition is a little bit limited because you can also have entities that are accredited investors. But for now, I think for the purposes of this video, that's going to serve a decent definition when it comes to understanding what an accredited investor is. Now, when you do a private placement, you're going to issue shares via a private placement memorandum, which is going to specify the type of contract or engagement which you're offering. That could be, for example, a priced round offering equity. It could also be a convertible note. It could be a safe or even a revenue promissory note. Now, there are also pros and cons when it comes to each contract type, when it comes to structuring your raise, not only to be attractive when it comes to potential investors, but also for you as a founder, as a company, when it comes to your overall upside. Now, regardless of the types of securities that you are offering, what I would say is that this isn't going to happen overnight. You really need to plan at least 2 to 4 months when it comes to raising those funds, maybe even a little bit more depending on your funding round and also the appetite when it comes to your company and your shares, the method that you're using to market your campaign. So you're probably thinking at least 2 to 4 months when it comes to that fundraising time, if not more. Want to take all the stress out of fulfilling your Kickstarter rewards? Fulfillrite is the turnkey solution that puts product delivery on autopilot. The Top Campaigns uses trusted high-tech provider to store, package, and ship their products. Focus on growing your business. Leave shipping to the experts. Don't wait. Get a custom quote from Fulfillrite today. Link in the description. At this point in the video, you might come to start to think about what stage you're actually in as a founder or as a company, or the way in which you're using Reg D in order to accomplish your goals. A private placement is used by early stage companies or startups who are pre-seed or seed when it comes to those rounds. They're maybe still building their technology. They're still discovering product market fit, and they're also still acquiring customers. It's also used by mid-stage companies that are using that injection of cash in order to fuel growth. Maybe they already have a proven business model and now they're expanding aggressively and really increasing their hiring. It's also used by real estate deals, as we talked about in the intro of this video, and also funds themselves. So for example, a private equity fund, a venture capital fund, or even angel groups. So I do want to talk about some of the pros and cons when it comes to doing a private placement, but also some of the alternative ways that you can raise funds for your company. Also, one thing that so many of the companies that are using Reg D missed out on, and we'll also cover at the end some of the additional resources that are at your disposal when it comes to being a founder and really growing your company. Some of the major pros that come to mind are you get fast capital when it comes to your raise. You can really attract those high ticket accredited angel investors. There is less public scrutiny, and also you can have an unlimited raise size. So it tends to be good when you're looking to attract larger checks. You don't need that mass market exposure yet, and you want faster and more flexible capital in order to grow your company. And that's exactly why Reg D is a very common method of raising funds for a company, and also why it's used in conjunction with other methods, for example, like Regulation A+, and also traditional Reg CF or regulation crowdfunding. But there are also some drawbacks when it comes to doing a private placement, so let's cover those. Some of the drawbacks that come to mind are going to be, number one, a smaller investor pool. You're really only making these securities available to mostly wealthy individuals. It also requires investor network or a very strong outreach approach when it comes to acquiring those investors. There's also less momentum and visibility unless you're doing a 506c raise. But even then, investor accreditation verification does add friction to your marketing. Personally, when it comes to private placements under Reg D, I do find 506c a very compelling rule set because you can engage in general solicitation and marketing. However, that is going to be a little bit of a friction element, and you have to make sure if you're doing your marketing, you're really spending wisely and really only looking to acquire those accredited investors when it comes to your offering of securities. Now, we're going to talk about some of the alternative ways in which you can raise funds for your startup company, but what I do have to say is that when it comes to most issuers, the number one thing that they are missing out on when it comes to their raise is to inject an element of digital marketing into their fundraising strategy. Marketing is not only about driving traffic, but it's also about sales enablement and making sure that you have the right marketing materials in order to convert a cold stone stranger into an investor. It's about understanding your funding story. It's about capturing the imagination of the public so that way they can check out your company, they can actually make an investment when it comes to your Reg D raise, and you can really attract those much higher net worth, higher caliber individuals when it comes to your private placement. To go a layer deeper, I would also say that many issuers are missing out on actually building a marketing funnel and being aware of how to actually move someone through that funnel, creating investor avatars, speaking to multiple different types of investors when it comes to their slides, their page, and also their digital marketing assets publicly. And in that way, allowing those individuals to move through that funnel and to convert. And that's so incredibly important because all of a sudden you're not just talking one-on-one to those individual potential investors, but you're really having a much bigger and scalable approach that you can also use for future funding rounds. Start to pay attention to some of those investment ads that you're getting on your Facebook feed or your Instagram feed, because really there are a lot of other companies that are using modern marketing methodology in order to acquire and convert investors. In that way, fuel an injection of cash when it comes to their startup. We can not only talk about your raise when it comes to assembling all those pieces of the puzzle in order to really have a rock solid story and marketing strategy going into that, but also some of the tools that you might not be aware of to make this process a breeze, make it much easier and much more enjoyable when you as a founder are raising funds for your company. If you want to learn more about that individual one-on-one coaching call, and it is a small investment when it comes to that, you can go down below, you can book an individual one-on-one coaching call with me at the link crowdcrux.com/coaching. Just go down below, fill out that form, tell me more about you, your company, and your history as you've gotten to this point in time. We can get that call scheduled ASAP at that link crowdcrux.com/coaching. But to finish off this video, let's kind of talk about some of those alternative ways in which you can raise funds. And if you have been enjoying this video, make sure you give me a thumbs up and come subscribe for more content just like this. Some of the alternative ways in which you can raise funds when it comes to your startup company. Number one would be to do a Regulation A+ raise, which does allow you to do general solicitation and allows you to raise upwards of $75 million in a 12-month period. It does have much more onerous legal expenses when I would say that, and that really goes beyond the scope of this video. Number two would be to do a Reg CF style raise under the securities exemption of regulation crowdfunding, which is a bit of a newer thing. You can actually raise funds from the public through a registered crowdfunding portal or even a broker dealer. We're seeing a lot of excitement when it comes to Reg CF style campaigns, and I do cover that all the time on this YouTube channel, as well as in my book, Equity Crowdfunding Explained, which you can check out on Amazon or on Audible. Specifically, if you do have a real estate deal that you're trying to put together, you can also use crowdfunding as well, or Reg A+ in order to raise funds for that type of deal. I do cover this a lot more in my book, Real Estate Crowdfunding Explained, and there are also some debt instruments or debt crowdfunding tools that you can use and platforms in order to actually raise those funds when it comes to your real estate deal. And the last type of funding method I'm going to talk about on this video would be to use a rewards-based crowdfunding platform in order to raise funds. This is more of like a Kickstarter or an Indiegogo play when it comes to raising funds for your startup company, and really offering these as a pre-order campaign. So if you're in the development of a new physical project, a gadget or gizmo, or even a software application, you can use crowdfunding as a way to bring cash in the door for your startup company and to use those funds to then develop that product and to offer perks and rewards to the public. I hope you enjoyed today's YouTube video. My name is Salvador Brigman, and if you'd like to learn more about crowdfunding, go and check out all my other videos out there on this channel. You can also join my newsletter at crowdcrux.com/newsletter at a link down below in the description. Also check out some of the books that I mentioned. And finally, if you'd really like to have that personalized guidance and hand-holding going through raising funds when it comes to your company, go down below and book an individual one-on-one coaching call with me. If you're on the way to work, make sure you pull off to the side of the road and book your call right then and there. Or if you're on the treadmill right now, hit that pause on the treadmill and take a second to book your individual one-on-one coaching call. It's probably going to be the best investment which you can make going into an upcoming raise. Regardless, take some action towards your goals this week, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time.